to the Leah Lux channel. I'm excited to chit chat with you guys today. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I am a fashion and lifestyle content creator. Sometimes I do some couple stuff with my husband as well. So welcome. Today we are chit chatting, just kind of give you guys an update on where I am. Um, it's 2026 now, and I have really just been like resting, reflecting. 2025 was a life changing year for me, so I'm excited to tell you guys about it. I've got my peppermint tea here, so we're gonna get started. So let's get into it. 2025, at the end of 2025, July, I believe, the end of July, I was let go from my job. And I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. However, I did not know that it would be the year that I would transition into that. And I was honestly pushed into it. I think like if I wasn't pushed into it, it would have never happened. So basically, it was actually Armand's birthday. It was a week before his birthday. I had been planning his birthday since January, and it's his 30th birthday. It's a big deal. Like, I'm throwing pretty much this big party for him. Biggest party I've probably ever thrown on my own with some help. And um, yeah, it was scary. I hadn't been in prayer about like leaving my job or anything like that. I believe at the end of 2024, you guys know that I have been on this content creation journey and I've just been like posting consistently. Well, with posting consistently, came a brand deal at the end of the year, a brand that I've always wanted to work with, a brand that I look up to. And I went to Chicago and I ended up doing some like styling content for this brand. And I realized, like, wow, I think that was the first time I realized, like, one, this is real. This is a real thing. Like, people really do this for a living. And then two, like, the amount of time I spend at work versus like the amount of time I had to do that shoot and do something that I love and was passionate about and also get compensated for it was just very eye-opening to me. And so going into 2025, I was building relationships with not only that brand but another brand as well, and things started to pick up. And I remember talking to Armand about like, okay, this looks like a check I would get from my 9 to 5. Like, I pretty much made the same that I would make at my 9 to 5. And our mom was like, yeah, like, he was just like, cool. Um, so I remember like around April or May of 2025, I was in prayer in my guest bedroom. And I was in prayer for like an hour. And while I was in prayer, like, God said, like, it's time to come off of your job. And for me, like, it was very random. It wasn't like something I had been looking for, or searching out an answer for. So I was like, am I hearing this right? Like, what? Like, now is the time? And when I heard that, I was one, scared because I have responsibilities now. Like, old Leah would have definitely been like, all right, I'm quitting tomorrow. Like, I don't care. These people, like, bye. But like when you get married and you have responsibilities now, we are new homeowners, we are newlyweds at this time, and I have to tell my husband the things that I've heard from God. And Armand is very much so a planner, and things just have to make sense for him in order for me to just be like, oh, I'm quitting my job. Like, he's okay with me quitting my job, but like, what's the plan? And so I remember mentioning it to him because one of the months, like I said, I made the same amount of my 9 to 5, and then there was another month where I made more than my 9 to 5. And like he's a numbers guy, so he has to like see that this is like real. Um and so we had a meeting, one of our Sunday marriage meetings, and I was just telling him like, okay, like I heard this from God. However, like I know you are a person that needs like planning and all those things. So let's just like make like a 6 month plan and see how it goes. Well, guys, we have our 6 month plan. I'm happy with it. I'm like, okay, I just have to stay on my job for 6 more months. Like, I'm not mad about it. Mind you, guys, a job I was on, like, I wasn't unhappy with it. Like, I was happy with compensation. I wasn't like 100% happy with like what I was doing. And I was also multitasking a lot. I was juggling 9 to 5 and also like posting my content consistently. I was work from home remote, so that opened up room for me to do that, but still, like, capacity wise in my brain, it was a lot of work. And I was very depleted at the end of the day most of the time. We had this meeting in like May, I believe. Fast forward June, July, I get let go from my job. Like, it was crazy. Like, there were other people getting let go from our job. Like, they were basically restructuring our whole team. I had started to experience some crazy micromanagement on my job, and it was just a lot. Like, I was trying everything I could to stay on this job. I was working overtime. I'm like trying my best, and God was just like, you got to come out of this position. And so, yes, in July, I ended up getting let go, and I was down for like a week, I would say. I was like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do? I have to tell Armand this. It's his birthday next week. And also, like, what? Like, it's just crazy that, like, I planned for 6 months. I was planning on leaving anyways, and it happened in 2 months. I was honestly stressed. Like, this is too much. Um, and I also had a trip planned, like just financially, it was just starting to stress me out. So, um, Armand wasn't upset or anything. He was just like, okay, like, what are you gonna do? Like, what's your plan? And it's so funny because, like I said, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but like taking those steps and the actions are always scarier than like we talk about. Armand and I had to have another meeting, just basically talking about like, okay, what's like the action plan? What are we gonna do? And what is your day-to-day task gonna look like now that you don't have a job? And so I really was like filling my schedule up with like content. I was reaching out to my network, like telling people like, hey, I'm full-time content creation now. Like, if there's any opportunities, please keep me in mind. This one helped me so much. Like, speaking up and telling people where I am helped me so much. People really started to like keep me in mind for things, and I really, really appreciated that. So do not underestimate the power of your network ever. Because if I never would have spoke up, I never would have gotten like opportunities. And I will say, as soon as like I got let go from my job, like God had already had so many things lined up for me. Like, the floodgates were open. I was starting to just get random like emails from brands. I was also getting like random like calls from people that I knew in other states that were like, "Hey, like we have this opportunity. Like, are you open and available?" And I'm saying yes to everything. Like, it was insane. And as I was starting to say yes to all of these like brands and all these things, I was building a relationship with people. And as I'm building this relationship, like by October, I believe, so July, August, September, that was like 2 months of building the relationship. By October, I was signing like a consistent retainer contract with a client and also a brand that I have been building a relationship with. And so it has been very eye opening to me. It's been a journey that, like, I wouldn't have expected that happen in 2025. Um, I do want to talk about like discerning the difference between like God telling you to quit your job and then just being like, oh, I just want to do content creation full time and I want to quit my job today. And like in this climate and in this economy, that is just not smart. And I will tell you, like, I am a person that would have done that like probably in 2022. I would have done that easily, but like right now it's just like not safe to do that. Um and like I said, I was not thinking about quitting my job at all. Like, this is something that God told me to do, and I'm trying my best to stay on my job, and I ended up getting kicked out of it. So it's like, really be in prayer about it, ask God, and honestly set a plan. Like, set a plan, the 6 month plan. I was gonna stick to that. One that's just good for your finances and like not struggling if you were like you have a plan financially to be able to one support yourself or support, like if you are a married woman like me, you are like on the same team with your partner and you guys have a plan, and that is the best way I could say you could go about it. um just because it's crazy out here right now. So I would never like suggest people to just quit their job. But I do believe that like when you don't have a job and you don't have anything to rely on, you don't have a paycheck to rely on, and you don't have a team to tell you what to do, it's hard. So I will say also, like, being in a 9 to 5, like, don't let anybody tell you, like, oh, like, you're not an entrepreneur, you're not a boss. Like, there is nothing better than a consistent paycheck, let me tell you. Instability, like, thinking about if I don't get up and if I don't do some work, if I don't go shoot, I'm not gonna get paid. That is the scariest transition for me. Even still 6 months in, I'm like, I gotta get up, I gotta shoot. And there are a lot of things that I learned in my 9 to 5 that if I wouldn't have like been in professional roles, I would fumble a lot of things. And so I think I've had to learn like client relationships. That's a big one. Communication, meetings, like paperwork, all of those things. Like, I've worked in administrative as an administrative assistant. I've worked in client facing roles for marketing agencies. And so all of those things played a role all the way up into one, owning my own business and also doing my own content creation journey. So it's all important, it all plays a role. So my suggestion is to always have a plan and also discern whether this is something that God wants for you and this is where He's taking you, or is this just something that you want and you are rushing into that process. I will also say that I did not do everything on my own. I did hire an operations manager to help me out with just like systems and trying to scale my business and what it's going to look like and what do I have capacity for. And that helped me out a lot. I do believe that it's very hard to do entrepreneurship on your own. Learned that community is super important, being able to lean on other entrepreneurs, being with people that know more than you and have been doing this for a while is super important. Also, like, you're only one person, you can't do everything. So, like, having a team or just like hiring somebody for like, even if it's a short window of time to help you out is important. So yes, I hired a operations manager. Her name is Nadia and Company. and she helped me scale my business for like the launch of it. And then I will be meeting with her at the end of the month to scale like the first 6 months of 2026. So I'm excited to do all of those things. And really, this video is just to one, encourage somebody that is going through a job loss. Like, you could either be going into a better position, or God has something better for you, or God could be pushing you into your purpose, your calling, and you are going to have faith. You're going to have to trust in what he says. One of the things I really learned is like, just because you're not seeing results right away, that doesn't mean that you give up. Like, you have to get up and choose to work every day without any team telling you what to do, without anybody emailing you. Emails ain't coming in. All right, well, I gotta send some outbound emails. Like, I gotta get to working. And I feel like with every step you take as an entrepreneur, like, it comes back to you. But you constantly have to keep the flow going, even when there's no money, even when there's no motion. Like, you gotta keep moving as if there is. And I feel like that is the highest act of faith. One thing I told myself is like, God, you told me not to go back to corporate. So it's on him to provide. It's on him. Like, he said this. So I have to trust that this is going to happen. And a lot of the times it doesn't happen in our timing. And so we get discouraged and we're like, God said this, but like, I'm not seeing nothing. Like, God saying this, but I don't have no clients. Like, this is where you have to work your faith. Truly. Story time. So I remember it was like, basically like my timeline for like me going back to work, me and Armand talked about, was like October. So I had from like July to October to like one, gain clients and also get some brand deals from like for content creation opportunities. And I remember like things were going well up until like almost the end of September, and I wasn't hearing anything back. It was quiet for like maybe a week or two. I'm sorry. It was quiet for like maybe like a week or two. And I was like, oh my God, like, I'm gonna have to go back to work. Like, I'm gonna start applying for jobs. Like, the holiday season is coming up and my birthday's coming up. So I definitely gotta have like money to do what I wanna do. And guys, I ended up applying to a job out of panic. I remember calling my sister one day and I was like, hey, like, I'm on my way to the mall. She's like, what are you on your way to the mall for? I'm like, oh, I got an interview up there. And she was like, why? She's like, you don't have time. And I'm like, well, this isn't going like this anymore. And like, this thing has just ended and all these things. And I'm just sharing her details. And she was like, yeah, I'll call you back later. Like, we're going to talk about some things. Da, da, da. And she was like, but I don't think like this is the route that you're supposed to be going. And so I'm on my way to the mall. I'm about to go to this interview. And God is just like, you don't need to go to this interview. I'm like, ugh. I do end up still going, because if I say I'm going to go somewhere and I've gotten ready, I'm like, I'm just going to go. And so I'm at the interview. I already know I'm not going to take the job, but it's just like, I am moving out of panic. Literally, probably like, I don't even remember. It was like a couple days later. It was like a 3 to 5 day window. I get a like message about like, hey, like, we want to bring you on as like a retainer contract, all these things. We want to start working with you on a monthly basis. Girl. So I called my sister back and she was like, the Lord just be telling you to wait. Like, you got to be patient. Like, as soon as things don't go your way, you go into a panic. And it's so true. Like, I started to freak out, and I think through that, I've really learned to just trust God's plan and what he has for me. And like, if he said it, guys, he is going to do it, because honestly, I don't know where these opportunities started coming out of nowhere, but they came, and it was all out of faith. So if I can do anything in this video is, one, encourage you to trust the process. Two, if you're going through a job loss, like, it happens all the time. I will say that, like, this job market has been crazy. This has been probably the most people have not felt secure in their jobs. And so having a side hustle and having a side business is just encouraged anyways. And three, you can make your passion your full-time job. I have done it. I don't know how I did it. A lot of faith, a lot of action, showing up for myself every day has really put me in a position to be able to do the things that I love. And yeah, it's been a journey, but I will say it took me 2 years of working very hard, consistently, um, without very little pay, without not knowing what the results would be. And it's led me to this moment. And I'm super, super grateful for that. And yeah, I just want to be able to encourage somebody today. So that is the journey I've been on. If you guys have any questions, feel free to DM me. You guys know my Instagram. I'll put it up on the screen. And yeah, that's a little life update for you guys. Like I said, if you are also on the same journey, please leave a comment below. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next episode. Let me know if there's any topics you guys want me to talk about on my channel going forward. I'm excited to get into the 2026 year. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be an amazing year for you and I. And yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for watching the Lily Lux channel. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.